Hi, Adam Taxin here at Manatee Beach, which is the name of the beach. The municipality is Holmes Beach in Florida. And just a second, I'm going to turn it around and let you look at the Gulf of Mexico. Here it is. Awfully pretty, but we're not going to be seeing a sunset. I wish you could know these things in advance. A lot of people gather out there where it's closer to the parking. John Cerrone, what's up? Because I forgot my tripod, I'm going to do this a little less traditionally. I'm going to take questions. You all have comments. Obviously the big story over the last few hours is Milo Yiannopoulos has resigned from Breitbart, a move I disagree with. The whole thing is all just so weird to me because in my connections week, really? I have my MiFi on here. It shouldn't be happening. So we got some, hey Rachel, what's up? I'm not going to usually be saying hi to people, but today I am because I left my tripod in the freaking car. Supposedly I have a connection here. Discussion here. Seriously, let's have a discussion. Tripod in the car. I rushed to get here in time. People walking, it's a big deal. It's at the Gulf of Mexico. Which interestingly, I've been in both sides of Florida a lot the last few weeks. It seems like the Gulf of Mexico is a little more active than the Atlantic Ocean where I've been. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Key Biscayne. I mean, the waves barely moved at all. It seems like there's more activity here. It might be the time of day in which I came. So let's talk about this Milo guy. He resigned. He does a good job. He's outspoken. I think he was completely done wrong by the American Conservative Union, CPAC. I think that was all planned in advance. They probably were tipped off that he was going to, that they were going to have this stuff come out about him. It's not pedophilia. It's just not. I buy his explanation. It's not my lifestyle, but pedophilia is prepubescent. Let's just be honest about these things once and for all. And, you know, a lot of us were not that celibate in our teenage years either, under 18. Let's not kid ourselves and let's not be disingenuous. And when you have two males involved, which is the case there, as opposed to a male and a female, which was the way I did things, you don't have the whole female chastity thing, and people do things at a younger age. It's simple, because male chastity isn't as valued as female chastity, and that's how, that's something Gavin McInnes said. Someone give me a comment here. They're still on here. I'd love to have something to respond to. I'm going to read from the other phone and talk about the other issues. You heard about this. A Democratic congressman now filed a lawsuit over a painting that portrays cops as pigs. This is a guy named Macy Clay. He's a Democrat from Missouri, presumably St. Louis. Represent Ferguson in Washington. And, you know, he has no bigger issue to pursue, especially, I guess, respecting Representative than to put a picture of cops who are portrayed as pigs on the House of, you know, on the walls of the House of Representatives. And there were a lot of comments. I saw the story, as I see a lot of stories on the Gateway Pundit, and people made comments about would his commitment to freedom of speech be as abject if it had been, you know, the Obamas as gorillas, you know the stereotype there. But it goes without saying, this is not about the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't really even apply here. You don't have a right to have your pictures, you know, to have a picture of cops placed on the walls of Congress. Do I even need to explain that to people? So unfortunately, we're not getting the sunset here. It was worth a try. It's a lovely beach, and one thing you'll notice is the powder. The sand is much more powdery here than a lot of beaches, including on the east coast of Florida. We're having a good time. I don't think it's too much of a problem. Put my camera silhouette form. Let me just say hi for a second. Shot. Oh, not that. What lovely hands. Hi. The Milo Yiannopoulos. Well, okay, one thing I'm doing with these videos is I have a strong feeling based on my experience during the presidential election where I was going all around and seeing the way technology has developed so much just in the last year, and pardon me if I'm saying this again, and you've heard it already, but the monopoly's over, and it's not just because Trump has been calling out the media. It's over because anyone can do this, and the information that they're getting at the networks is not so different from what we have access to. Anyone can do the broadcast. It's just ordinary people writing stories, and someone goes out there, and then you have smaller so-called news outlets claiming to be against the trend of fake news, but they're putting up so-called hosts in front of a green screen where they're putting some sort of cityscape or other scene where they're not even there. So I want to actually be there at the places where I am talking from, and it's important to me that there be something visual to look at when I'm talking, when I'm giving my opinion, ranting if you want to call it that. But there is an important, give people a sunset to look at, a sunrise. It's gimmicky, yeah, I know, but until I lose 20 pounds, who the hell wants to just look at me? And even then, there's better things to do. So here you can turn the volume down, get a nice beach scene. Yeah, what would have been a nice sunset. So I'm over 2 today. The sunrise over St. Petersburg looked like it was going to be nice until about 15 minutes beforehand when it got cloudy. And then here, during part of the drive, the sun was shining brightly. Fortunately, the drive wasn't directly west, so it didn't get on my eyes while driving. Get in my eyes while driving, but the clouds were there by the time I arrived here. Again, a lovely beach. Let me just go through the other headlines courtesy of Breitbart, then we'll call it a day. Talked ad nauseum about Milo. Yeah, they did wrong, but nothing's preventing Milo from getting his words out there, even though he is banned from Twitter. So, I would have responded, okay, CPAC is an anachronism. People don't all need to go to Washington, spend that money in there, just put the speeches online. Obviously, part of it is being around other conservatives and pain in the butt. Come to Manatee instead if you're going to travel somewhere this time. Again, apologies if it's not that steady. I left the tripod in the car. I'm an airhead. We know that. Those of you who know me. So here are the headlines since I did my midday report from some key off St. Petersburg. Milo, this is courtesy of the Gateway Pundit, thegatewaypundit.com. Hey Ricky, hey Duke. And enjoy me saying these shout outs now, because I'm going to be stopping doing this in a week or two when I get a little more professional and get the hang of this a little bit better. So, headlines from the Gateway Pundit. Milo Yiannopoulos out at Breitbart. As I mentioned before, Democrat congressman files lawsuit obtaining that portrays cops as pigs. David Rubin, who I believe is out of Israel. I read this story before, but I'm blanking on it right now. Islamo-Nazis and Nefto-Nazis are blamed for attacks on U.S. Jewish sites. That is a response to Hillary Clinton saying Trump needed to talk about or had some sort of involvement, very subtly she said it on Facebook, on Twitter, that Trump needed to speak out against vandalism of graves at a Jewish cemetery in Missouri, as if people don't know that that's wrong to do. This is a story I'm going to get more into if I do a sunrise report tomorrow, which I certainly intend to. Whether the sun actually rises is another story. We have to move this whole operation to the desert out west, really, because I'm getting bad luck with this. Wasserman Schultz's IT staffers took $100,000 from Iraqi politician, possible to trace transactions. I'm just going to be getting that. That's about the 3 guys with Muslim names. They're all brothers who were not doing what they should have been on Capitol Hill, turning technology over and secret information over to Iraq. Here's a headline that's pretty self-explanatory. Wow, George Takei advocated pedophilia with 13-year-olds. Will Pizza Hut drop him? Video with that. Again, people are getting a little too loose with the definition of pedophilia, which is a real problem. But there's pedophilia, and then there's people who are under 18, who historically have been known as adults, especially females. As I mentioned at another time, does Gone with the Wind promote pedophilia? Scarlett gets pregnant at 16 in that movie. There, of course, she was married, but what's the difference? Pedophilia is pedophilia, right? Just because someone calls it a puts a ring on it because you get some ceremony. It stops being pedophilia, right? So people need to watch out when they're talking about this. But Milo Yiannopoulos, whether I like him that much or not, he was done wrong, and shame on the Conservative Political Action Conference of the American Conservative Union, and more broadly, what I call conservatism. Shame on them. Another headline, just two more. Big league ICE agents officially ordered to begin arresting and deporting more illegals. Breaking, and I'm going to get more into this one tomorrow. Organizers that took out Milo linked to left-leaning George Soros groups, and that talks about Evan McMullen a little bit, a guy no one had heard of till a few months ago. But he seems a little too involved in all this stuff. Very weird, very eerie, and I think we're going to be learning about Bill Kristol more too. Gittel, what's up? Tina Davide Byrne, now's your chance to ask a question or make a comment. Give me something to respond to, because the sun did me wrong, and I'm ending this pretty soon. The final story is that a Tennessee Democrat calls for withdrawal of free speech bill, formerly called the Milo bill. And there also was some Houston hospital on lockdown after reports of a shooting, but that was early this afternoon, and I don't think that amounted to much. That was a headline that went up there. So okay, this is me. Sorry I didn't bring you a sunset. Obviously, that is my fault. I got to get a lot more professional. Thanks for watching, and I'll be with you tomorrow morning. And I'm putting some. I got to remember where that where the camera lens is. All right, that's it. And I will be putting all this stuff on YouTube, as well as clips of what are the better parts of these things. Thanks for watching.